Hey you guys, Sam here again from Harvey Cat Homestead. I think it's time. I'm out here with our leeks that are well past their prime, obviously. I've been allowing them to flower because the bees just love them, but they're mostly done and they are about to drop their seeds all over the place, and I would kind of like to avoid having a blue million of these leeks growing everywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these, and that's gonna give us some space to, again, we're gonna turn this bed. When I say turn it, I'm not turning the soil. We practice no-till gardening here, so we're not gonna, we made top dress with some rabbit poop because rabbit poop has this really, really cool feature where it's called a cool poop. It's not hot, as in it's not going to burn your plants. If you put, for example, chicken manure directly in your garden on your plants, it'll burn them and they may die quite quickly, actually. So it is safe to use rabbit manure in your garden. And so we may top dress with that, but we're not gonna make a ton of changes to the soil. That's what we're gonna do in this space. I've also got some more space where my squash plants have kind of petered out, so we are going to replant in these areas as well. So I figured while we're going, we might as well just go. So I'm gonna start ripping these out, and I guess I'll just bring you along with me. I did want to show you really quickly. I'm gonna see if this will pull up. Oh yeah, came up quite easily. So this, most of the seeds on this guy are set. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull him out and I'm gonna set him aside, and we are going to allow these seeds to dry and save them to use later. This is the American flag variety of leek. So these seeds should be viable again next year, as long as we allow them to cure properly and get the stink bugs out of them. Stink bug. Anyway, all right, I just want to let you know I am saving seed. Like, I allowed them to go to flower, so it only makes sense I would save seed from at least one fruit. But there's a ton of seed on this one fruit, so it's going to last me a good while. We're going to set this aside and go ahead and get to pulling these out. All right, so we have all of this pulled up, at least. It's a much cleaner space. You can see some of the roots broke off. To be completely honest with you, I'm good with that because those roots are going to decay in the soil, and as they break down, they are going to add nutrients. So more nutrients, more better. All right, so let's get these leeks over to the compost pile and we'll start talking about what we're gonna do with this space next. Oh, it's all right, bunnies. It's okay. I know, this is a really big, weird thing. I have the compost pile next to the rabbits because the rabbits feed the compost like nothing else. I will tell you, this is not going to break down quickly unless I come in and chop it up with a shovel. I'm not going to do that right now because the sun is intense and I have the timer for the sprinkler to hit this area and I don't want to get wet. So let's go talk about what we're going to do with that bed. So I'm thinking that maybe the best thing that we can do is to look at the space that we have to work with and then go inside and consider what seeds we have to work with and the timeline that we have to work with. So this is the space that we just ripped out. It's maybe 3 square feet. And then farther down this bed This is this goofy looking zucchini. I could certainly fit something else. The zucchini they're very prolific, but they're very short-lived. So there were 4 other zucchini in this space, and now there are not. So that's another 4 square feet, maybe 5, 6 square feet, possibly. I don't know. I'm not good at that. And then I could perceivably place something right here to climb this trellis on this side. I probably need to rip those sweet peas out. It's too hot for them to thrive anyways. Those potatoes are going to be processed in the next few weeks, so they're not going to be here for that long. But let me tell you, I am hesitant about the fall garden in this space, because what I know I'm going to have to do is we are going to have to completely pull the soil out of these beds, and we are going to kind of play hopscotch. I'm going to build a bed right here in this big open space, and the soil is going to be moved from here to there, and then, or maybe the bed over there. It's going to kind of depend on what's open. I'm trying to plan ahead for that. I have a really hard time planning ahead in the garden, because I'm very much of the, we can do this right now and then we'll have fruit in like 50 days kind of mindset. So I need to rein it in a little bit, because we need to plan a little farther out. So that being said, I don't know how much I want to try to plant in this bed, just because I know it's going to get turned, or those potatoes are going to be finished. Okay, the terminology that I'm using in terms of turning a bed, I literally just mean the plants. Historically, when people say turning a bed, they literally mean flipping the soil, like coming in and tilling. Because we do no-till gardening, that's not what I mean, but I use the same words. I'm sorry, words mean things. I shouldn't manipulate that. Anyway, so that being said, I'm a little hesitant about adding more of anything into this specific bed. Is that a potato beetle? No, it wasn't. It just looks like blight. Yeah, I didn't buy these potato starts. These were just some potatoes that they were sprouting in my pantry. So they came from the grocery store. And because they were sprouting, I was like, let's just let them do what they want to do. So if I don't get anything out of that, I'm not out anything really, aside from the 5 or 6 potatoes that I was going to eat that I didn't get to eat anyway because they were sprouting. So, again, we're back to, this is the fun of gardening. It's we plan on the fly over here. So let's go inside and consider the seeds that we have in the space that we have. First, let's make sure there's not any other space out here. So all of these beds will have to be redone, because they're all, the base of them is all pallets and they're all starting to rot. Now these other beds are not a problem. These 3 that I just showed you, they're fine because they are made out of treated wood, and they're treated with copper. So I'm not terribly worried in terms of soil leaching, whatnot, whatever. But this whole half of the garden is gonna have to be redone. So I don't know that I want to add anything else over here either. Yeah, we don't have room to add more over here. Those cucumbers are still going to take up more space. And then, okay, so the 2 locations that we have are right here where the leeks were, and then right there where the zucchini was. And let's go inside and get that. We'll get to thinking about that. All right, you guys, so here we are inside the house where it's at least cooler. I don't keep it super cold in the house because, to be honest, going in and out, if it's 90 plus degrees out there and I come inside and it's 70, I feel like I'm gonna die. So it's like 75 degrees in there. That plus, let me show you this other fun little thing, this other reason that I have to not keep it cold in here. I am trying to keep this little one acclimated. Sorry, I'm digging through her nest box. She's like, what the heck? She said, what the heck? I have this little floof. In here. So if I keep it too cold inside of here, she's gonna be in total shock whenever I take her outside. She's like 13 days old and she's such a healthy girl. I'm very excited about her. She's such a cootie. She's such a cootie. Oh, what are you doing? You can't tell if she's trying to bite me or if she's trying to look for a nipple. What are you doing, girl? Anyway, this is not why we're here. But anyway, if I kept it cool in here and she stayed in here all day long and then had to go back outside to 80-degree temperatures, she would be in total shock. And yeah, we don't want you in shock, do we? Wow, you are so dedicated. I see you. I'm going to put her down. Here you go, girl. I know, I'm so sorry. She said, why are you bothering me? She was sleeping good and I disturbed her. I'm so mean. Anyway, she's fine. She's so stinking cute though. Okay, so we're in here doing garden planning, not talking about temperature, not talking about bunnies. So we just were outside looking at the space that we had available. I also, granted, I'm a nerd. This is like my map of my garden. And so I've kind of got, now it's not 100% accurate because things have changed since I last updated this, but I can at least look at this and have a good understanding of what I planned to grow. And mentally I can remember what is or is not doing well. So considering all that we have on this list, I've kind of gone through my seeds. I'm a big nerd. This is a photo organizer from Hobby Lobby. They've got it. I have this color coordinated a little bit. So I've got two of them. The other one is my like cool season stuff or just flowers. So I've kind of gone through looking at what we have versus what we need, and also just kind of what I've sort of recently purchased and have been wanting to experiment with. And I've got some ideas. So let me explain to you how you would do this. Sorry, you hear the bunny rustling around a little bit. So if you're doing this in your garden, if you are trying to fill holes, what you do is you go online and or you may just know this off the top of your head. I don't ever remember our first frost date. I can remember our last frost date in general is April 15th, but our first frost, for some reason, always evades me and I always have to look it up. So I just looked it up. It's like approximately October 30th for my specific location. This is going to vary depending on where you live. So don't take my number. You need to find your number. So today is July 1st. If you count the days from now to October 30th, that is 120 days. So we still have a lot of time left in our season. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna consider what you have and plant something that takes around, what I would say is like half of that if possible, because that's just when it starts producing. The days to maturity, the days to maturity, around half of that is what you're looking for. So let me just give you an example of what is probably not going to work, but I'm excited about experimenting with, and so we're gonna do it anyway. This is a sesame seed pack. I love sesame oil and tahini and anything sesame. Like I'm a big Thai, Japanese food aficionado. Like this is a variety that was grown. It's called Monticello White, so it's a Thomas Jefferson curated variety. If you've never been to Monticello and you have the opportunity to go, I would highly recommend it because they have like this example of how they gardened, and it's really neat to see. Like it's clearly very dated, obviously, but that's what's so cool about it is you can go see historically exactly what maybe not exactly, generally what they had done to produce food. And he liked to experiment. Thomas Jefferson was a unique human, so he was a little creative. Anyway, so this, on your seed packet, this says days to harvest 150 right there. So if I have 170 days, this is a risk. Depends on if you're willing to risk it or not. Something that you really are excited about. Now, with something like this basil, in terms of days to harvest, you can start harvesting off of a basil whenever it's like, after it's got like 6 sets of new, like actual true leaves. I'm not talking about cotyledons. So a cotyledon is whenever you sow the seed. A cotyledon are those first 2 tiny little modified leaves that pop up. Those contain everything, all of the nutrients that that seedling needs to get going. So you don't pull those off. The plant desperately needs those. So once this basil plant gets up to like 4 inches tall, essentially, I can start harvesting off of it. So days to maturity with herbs, it's not like, so a days to maturity is really only important on a plant that you are harvesting the fruit off of. And when I say fruit, I'm not talking about greens. I'm literally talking about something like a tomato or like okra or something. When I say fruit, I mean the portion of the plant that contains seeds that is meant for reproductive purposes. So, and it usually contains flesh. The flesh is what you are enjoying. So I'm going to experiment again here since we have such a long growing season. Now, granted, if you're talking about, so again, this may not work. I am doing this for fun. I already have out in my garden everything that I absolutely have to have. So I'm going to start this determinate variety tomato from seed directly in the garden. I'm trying to see its days to maturity on here and I don't see it. I want to say this one was like a 60 day to maturity, like it's lower. So it's more likely I'm going to get something. The fruit it produces is also smaller. So that's a big part of why I feel like it's worth risking. Another risk I am taking is this black plum tomato. I honestly just kind of want to use the seeds because I have no idea how old they are and I just kind of want to get them in the ground and see if they'll even come up. But so typically when I'm planting tomatoes, I plant them indoors because I'm trying to get a head start for the season. So I usually start in January, which is too far ahead. Let me tell you, I always create extra work for myself by starting that far ahead. But when it works well, I get the best tomatoes quickest. So I am that kind of gardener. You get to be the kind of gardener you want to be. And that's why this is fun. So instead of starting these indoors, I'm going to start them directly in the soil out there and just see what happens, because we have such a long growing season that, it may work out just fine. Now, that being said, these are smaller tomatoes. These are like plum cherry sized tomatoes. So they will work. That's what I'm going to do. I do have this really pretty butterfly pea that I've been wanting. So this is good for like tea blends and stuff. So this actually prefers heat. Most peas really want cooler temperatures, but because this is I think it's a more tropical variety of pea, it can handle the hotter temperatures. Like this says the ideal temperature is 70 to 180 degrees. So we're going to try it and we're going to see. And also I'm going to plant more regular sweet basil because I only had like 2 actually make it from what I started, and I want more and my bunnies want more, and that's what we're going to do. So that's what we're going to do outside. You guys saw I didn't have a ton of space. I just had maybe 2 little spots that we were going to fill. This is some stuff that I'm planning on starting indoors early. I've got some short onion seeds. When I say short day, These are going to do their bulbing over the winter. From now until next June, well, no, it's not June. Anyway, from now until next year, our days are going to be getting shorter. They're not going to be getting longer. That's when these onions are bulbing. So you need to make sure if you're in the South, you need a short day variety onion. And that's just because of the amount of sunlight hours that we get here. Now, if you're farther north, long day onions do better. So this is just one of those little nuanced things. This is one of those detailed plants that is a little finicky. And that's fine. You'll still, if you have already bought your onion seeds and you've only got a long day variety and you're in South Carolina, please go ahead and grow them. I don't want you to waste those seeds. Like, you could still get a bulb. It's just not going to be as large as the short day varieties. So it's okay. Give yourself a little bit of grace there. You only know what you know. And I promise you, I spend a lot of time not knowing and learning the hard way. But, I will say this, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And anytime I pull these seed packets out, I'm having fun. So the other ones that I am starting indoors, I'm going to do a chamomile. Here, this thrives in cool weather here. All of these thrive in cool weather. So I'm starting them very early to get a jump on it. So the moment that the weather breaks here, they can go outside. So we're doing chamomile. We are doing a poppy. Sierra, this is for you. She just sent me a message the other day and she's like, why aren't you growing poppy seeds? I'm like, because they don't like our heat and humidity. So this may not work out terribly well here anyway. These guys, they're finicky in our climate, but they're worth a shot because they're really beautiful. I mean, come on. Isn't that gorgeous? I think it's gorgeous. So we're gonna try that. And then the other guy that we've got going in is we have parsley. I may try to find some dill in here too. I didn't spend a ton of time searching, but parsley is a good cool season herb here. And it's another one that's great for the rabbits. They really enjoy munching on it. It's got a lot of nice nutrients in there. And I'm kind of low on my parsley. Anyway, I let all my parsley go to seed, which doesn't bother me. It's producing seed. I may go out and harvest that seed and use it, instead of this. But yeah, we just rolling with it. That's what we do around here. We just roll with it. So I'm not going to plant these today because I have other things that I need to get to, but I can show you a video. I can, bring you along with me for the planting process and exactly what I do, because I do like, depending on the seed, I do like to soak it ahead of time. I am for sure going to soak these butterfly pea seeds ahead of time because they're huge. The larger the seed, the more moisture it takes to get going. So the smaller ones, I don't typically do that for, but I do kind of have a typical routine in terms of how I do things when I'm direct sowing. Granted, most of these I don't usually direct sow, so it's going to be a little bit of an experiment, but this is a good place to document experimentation and to just bring you guys along for the fun with me and the creativity that the garden offers. So I want you to know this is experiments, but I have a bunch of stuff out there already, like my black beans and the tomatoes that I've shown you and the herbs that I've already got growing that are not experiments. They are tried and true. I am doing what I know works well in my garden, and they're doing great. So experiment. It all depends on where you're at, because for me, I have the space, I have the time to do these things. If you're really hyper-focused on just survival and making sure that you have what you need and you don't have to go buy it at the store, I understand and respect and appreciate that too. I am by no means belittling the way you want to grow your garden, but this is how I like growing mine. And that's why it's so fun. Some other things I would suggest if you're wanting to put things in the ground right now that are not crazy experiments, you could do a short day okra. I say short day. Shorter days to maturity. Okra really likes the heat. It likes the heat like crazy. So okra is going to do well. A lot of your smaller, like cantaloupe sized melons are going to do well because they really like the heat. You could do another round of summer squash. You could start your winter squash right now. Now, winter squash and different pumpkins have a tendency to take a little bit longer. So again, just pay attention to your days to maturity on your seed pack. And hopefully you're shopping for seeds somewhere that actually gives you the information. Some of this stuff, some of these packets don't give you everything you need. So just be aware, you may have to look in extra places online or ask some friends who, are experienced in terms of what works well. If you don't, if you're buying seeds that don't actually give you all of the information on the packet. One place that I really appreciate the amount of information that they have would be, what is it? Botanical Interests. Yeah, they have a ton of information on their seed packets. And I really like local too. So this So True Seed Company, this is out of Asheville, North Carolina. They have a little on-site store where you can actually go in and shop, but their online store is phenomenal as well. So they're for sure worth checking out. I've heard people say that Baker Creek, they've had some problems with germination. I've had some problems with some germination on some things that I've purchased from them, but on the whole, I haven't had too many problems. And then M.I. Gardner's another really good one. M.I. Gardner, he's got an excellent YouTube channel, Luke over there. So I appreciate that their seed packets are more affordable. They have a pretty wide variety. And they give you what I would say is a more reasonable amount for a home grower. If you have a small space, I would absolutely shop M.I. Gardner, because you may not need 300 tomato seeds. You may only need 12. But obviously they do it by the weight, but their website will tell you kind of the average amount as well that you get in each packet, and it's going to vary depending on the plant. But yeah, when we're talking seeds, there's the amount of information and varying information between different plants and different needs and all of that. It is over the moon. Like, there's just so much. So this is absolutely, by no means is this an extensive, informative thing. This is just helping you plan for your late summer. I wouldn't even say transition. It's like a succession. It's another succession of summer. So if you're where I'm at in the country, in the world, or farther south, between us and the equator, you've got plenty of time to do more, I would say. So don't just assume that because you're not seeing garden stuff all over the place at Walmart or in other big box stores that it's not time to garden. It's always time to garden. So that being said, I'm going to put this stuff away. I'm going to prepare some of these for going in the ground, and I will get back with you when they're ready to go in, and we will do it together. And I'm so grateful that you want to come along with me for this journey in these fun gardening adventures. So I look forward to seeing you. And my name's Sam. Thanks for checking in with Harvey Cat Homestead, and I hope you have a beautiful day.